President Trump has finally made a comment about the gas attack in the village of Syria. We have his statements coming up.
Also, we speak to a CSUN Senator who's giving back in every way she can. We have all this and more. You're watching Studio G.
Good afternoon, Rebels, and welcome to Studio G. I'm Jessica Vargas.
And I'm Jamie Poole.
We start today with breaking news after a joint press conference with President Trump and the leader of the Middle Eastern nation of Jordan this morning, where a long-awaited formal response from Donald Trump was given about the gas attacks in Syria. President Trump welcomed the King Abdullah II and Queen Rania of Jordan to the White House today. However, those in the press have been waiting for President Trump to make a formal non-Twitter response to the alleged sarin attacks in Syria. The attack was launched with deadly sarin gas while Syrians were sleeping, according to the UN. During the joint press conference, President Trump took the time to give an official response to the attacks.
Yesterday, a chemical attack that was so horrific in Syria against innocent people, including women, small children, and even beautiful little babies. Their deaths was an affront to humanity. These heinous actions by the Assad regime cannot be tolerated. The United States stands with our allies across the globe to condemn this horrific attack and all other horrific attacks.
After the formal condemnation by President Trump, the question of what the Trump administration planned to do to respond to the attacks was asked. President Trump responded by saying that he felt it best to withhold information from the public about the military responses due to it being hazardous for those involved. We will await to see what becomes of the response to Syria, as well as what becomes of the Jordanians' leadership's visit to the White House.
2 high schools in the Midwest have experienced sexual assault cases streaming online. The LaPorte County Sheriff's Office say an Indiana high school student was involved in sex abuse video. The video was shared on social media, including Facebook Live. Here is what some concerned parents had to say.
It's kind of wild and strange because this happens in a lot of schools all the time. I see it on television a lot, with these kids, sexting and what have you. It's like, you don't know what to think about this.
A similar case was reported in Chicago. 2 teen boys have been charged with aggravated criminal sexual assault and manufacturing and disseminating child pornography. The victim was reported missing by her mother on March 19th. The following day, the mother saw the Facebook Live video and approached police with screen grabs. Police say at least 40 people watched the live stream, but none of them reported it.
Working with Facebook, have executed several social media search warrants, and we were able to eventually identify 2 of these offenders and secure arrest warrants for them. One of the offenders, 14-year-old, was arrested by the same 10th district officers who were working alongside the detectives these entire days. That individual has now been charged. There's a second juvenile warrant that is out there, and we expect that individual to be arrested soon. And then additionally, we still have several other offenders that we need to specifically identify and arrest as well.
Police say that it was difficult to identify the suspects because the video showed mostly close-up shots of body parts. The teenage victim received threats and harassment at her house and has since moved.
Game of Thrones is one of the most popular television shows right now. The HBO series ended its 16th season in June of last year. Fans are now eagerly awaiting for the upcoming 7th season. In the meantime, die-hard fans have been able to take part in the immersive experience for the show. After 3 years of preparation, the fantasy drama announced the beginning of Game of Thrones Live. Creators brought the show to various cities across North America. So far, there have been shows in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, and of course, Las Vegas. The Game of Thrones live experience was held at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. The show's composer Ramin Djawadi led the concert playing the score. The band included a local orchestra and choir performing the music from the 6 different seasons.
I remember when the first season aired, David and Dan sent me a link of the first cover song of the main title, and I was blown away. And then more kept popping up. So I'm just amazed how creative people have been around the world and doing covers of the themes, and I'm so happy to be part of this.
Game of Thrones live experience is set to be an arena tour with an intimate setting. The tour is entitled Winter is Coming, to reference House Stark's motto.
So special, so what we tried is to create a very special concert, so it'll be a very unique experience. A full orchestra, we have a full choir, all these solo instruments, but visually we're also enhancing it, we're building our own stage. It'll catapult the viewer back into the world of Westeros, and they're able to experience all the different areas of Westeros, with the focus on the music of course, but it'll just be also visually stunning.
Season 7 of Game of Thrones is set to return on July 16, 2017. For more information about Game of Thrones Live, visit GameOfThronesConcert.com.
Coming up, we take a look at what's going on around the Valley. We'll be right back.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the RebelHD2.com.
Miles Low.
This is your girl, Scribe Cash.
My name's Fabian Stefan.
Perpetual Player One.
And I'm your host, Brandy the Prince Madison.
My name is Haley Rogers.
From the Miles Low Midweek Show.
The Scribe Cash radio show.
You can listen to Pixel Jam.
Press start to play.
And this is the Takeover.
Rock on Rebel.
On KUNV-HD2.
From the RebelHD2.com.
Welcome back to Studio G. Let's take a look at some of the biggest headlines in the Valley. Las Vegas police are currently working to determine if 2 robberies that occurred yesterday were related. 2 convenience store clerks were robbed at gunpoint within 20 minutes of each other. Metropolitan Police Department Lieutenant David Gordon told the Review-Journal. The first robbery was reported at 4:20 a.m. and the second at 4:40 a.m. Both robberies involved 2 men, one of whom was armed with a shotgun. Both men walked into the businesses and demanded money from the clerks and left through the front door after the clerks complied. As of 6 a.m. yesterday, neither of the 2 robbers were in custody.
The first legal sale of recreational marijuana may come later than many expected in southern Nevada. The Nevada Department of Taxation plans to issue temporary licenses that would allow medical marijuana dispensaries to sell by July 1st. A bill in Nevada legislature aims to let those sales happen even sooner. However, the legal sale of marijuana in Clark County may not arrive until September, according to a proposed schedule revealed Monday at the Clark County Green Ribbon Panel.
A new Senate bill may allow disabled voters to request an absentee ballot for every election they are eligible to vote in. The bill would require a county clerk who gets a request for the absentee ballot to notify a city elections clerk of the disabled voter's wish. This would allow the voter to get a city elections ballot as well as ballots for the state election. The Senate Legislative Operations and Elections Committee heard the bill on Monday without taking any action.
Local doctors gathered in Carson City to support a bill that would address, quote, surprise bills that patients receive when they don't use in-network physicians or facilities. The bill would use an independent database of billing practices to determine reimbursement level doctors would receive for treating patients outside of their negotiated insurance networks, according to the Review-Journal. The bill would reimburse off-network doctors at an amount equal to the 80th percentile of charges billed by physicians for a particular service within a certain area. No action was taken on the Monday bill.
A bill proposed Monday would require Nevada school officials to notify parents before they interview students when conducting an investigation into reports of bullying. School districts would also be required to send notice to the parents of the accused aggressor and the victim before the school official interviews the student, according to the Review Journal. Assemblyman Richard Carrio introduced the bill after being approached by families regarding an anti-bullying bill that was signed in 2015. The bill will be an update to the 2015 bill. The committee took no action on the bill on Monday.
Ricky Martin's Las Vegas residency opens today at the Park Theater in Monte Carlo. The show is booked for 18 shows in 3 clusters over the course of this year. Martin will be having shows starting today at 8 p.m. through April 15th and again in June and September.
A new ice cream place has finally arrived in Las Vegas. Studio G reporter Kayleen Talents has more.
Attention ice cream lovers. If you stop by Rolled Ice Cream, you are definitely in for a treat.
Jordan Hoffman, the manager of Rolled Ice Cream, shares where Rolled Ice Cream originated from and what plans it has in store.
We actually got the idea from Thailand. That's where it originated from. So we are the only rolled ice cream in Las Vegas right now. We plan on expanding eventually within the next couple months. We'll have 10 stores across the valley. So that'll be nice.
Not only are customers in for a treat, but they are also in for a show.
It's different because you get to eat ice cream, but you also get to see a little show. Our employees are very interactive with every guest that comes in. We like to encourage the hospitality side. But it's also just fun to watch. We take a cream and then we put it on a pan that's close to negative 32 degrees. And we mix in fruits, candies, purees, really anything to make the flavor that you want. And then you get to just watch it happen, watch the magic happen.
There are a variety of favorites when it comes to rolled ice cream. Jordan explains that it usually depends on the time of day on what ice cream is ordered the most.
Usually during the day, it's like coffee and donuts or green tea, that's a popular one also, or avocado. And then at night you have like your dessert type, you have your strawberry banana, banana brownie, and banana splits. Those are more popular at nighttime.
The ice cream is able to stay rolled due to the type of cream that is used. Rolled ice cream is a unique place to visit. Jordan elaborates on why.
We use all natural ingredients, so it's not like pre-mixed or pre-flavored, however you want to put it, with like the other ice cream places are. If you order like a strawberry ice cream, we literally will mix in cut strawberries, and that's how you create the strawberry ice cream.
Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Roll on down to Rolled Ice Cream and fulfill your cravings today. For Studio G, I am Kayleen Talents.
To top it all off, you can never go wrong with ice cream.
That's all for your local headlines today. Now let's take a look at the weather with Timey.
When we come back,
I'm sorry about that. We're having technical difficulties. Apparently there's something wrong with our video, but we'll get that taken care of. As for that ice cream place, how
looked
awesome
amazing.
Is that? I've never heard of any place
I think it's
here
so
in
cool
Vegas.
that they make it right there in front of you. So that's pretty cool for you to watch.
Definitely. All right, it looks like everything's working. So let's go with Timey for the weather.
Thank you, ladies, and I'm so glad to be back again. My name is Tammy, and welcome to your weather segment. The weather today is very beautiful, and although we have 68 degrees right now, it's very sunny, enjoyable. The highest 78 degrees and the lowest 56. And let's take a look at the image today. As we can see, some of the damages that a tornado has caused in Missouri and other neighbor states are also dealing with the tornado right now, so we hope them the best. Let's take a look at the valley, the rest of the valley here. Thursday and Friday, sunny skies, although on Saturdays we're going to have a 20% of chance of showers. The lowest temperature being Sunday with 69. And then the rest of the valley here, the lowest right now is 65 degrees on Summerlin, North Las Vegas, Nellis, and Las Vegas, and Southern Highlands, 68 degrees. It's going to be beautiful in the rest of the valley here in Nevada. here at UNLV, 66 degrees right now. Mostly sunny, wind speed 5 miles per hour. But tonight, it's going to go a little bit down. We have 58 degrees, clearly skies, and the wind speed as well, 5 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the rest of the country. As I told you guys, this area right here is going through a storm, a tornado. Alabama, Georgia, Missouri, Mississippi is going through the tornado. Damages are causing in the states, and actually Alabama governor, he declared emergency of the state today. So we hope them the best. Here in the west side of the country, very beautiful. We see here Salt Lake City with 60 degrees. Los Angeles, 83 degrees. Here in Las Vegas, as I say to you guys, the highest will be 78, so it will be beautiful. Now, when we come back, we sit down with the CSUN Senator who's going above and beyond. We'll be right back.
You don't get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
This is a nutrition center. Anyone from the Las Vegas community is welcome. We can get more people into the nutrition center, get them more educated, then they can learn what ways to prevent chronic diseases and to become healthier individuals. All classes are held in BHS building, Bigelow Health Sciences, room 212, and the times vary, but you could always check them at the UNLV calendar or UNLV Today, and all the classes, times, and descriptions are available there.
My goal is to be an on-air personality, and that's what my career is. It feels really incredible because I've been wanting to do something like this for my whole entire life since I was little.
I mean, it's an opportunity to express myself, get my voice out in public, and get heard for things that I feel strongly about.
This station helped me out a lot, gave me a lot of information I didn't know about a radio station in general.
It was really easy to get a show here. I took the classes and did the shadowing. They give you a lot of freedom to do what you like, and I feel like there's a lot of support in places you can get answers to.
It's just an incredible experience because I could take what I learned here and I could turn it into something more.
Welcome back, Rebels. I'm Alyssa Truesdell. UNLV student Samantha Bivens has been one busy body since she transferred here from CSN in 2012. Ashley Renan caught up with her at the CSUN offices in the Student Union to learn more.
My name is Samantha Bivens, and I am a liberal arts senator for CSUN Student Government, and I'm also the chair of the Health and Safety Committee. As a senator, I do a wide range of things for the people who are in my college. It's the idea of the Senate is that we're broken down into college, so there's representation for every college, for every student. And then as the chair of Health and Safety, my committee basically oversees anything having to do with the Disability Resource Center, the SRWC, the food pantry, police services, crime prevention on campus, that type of thing.
When Bivens, a transfer student from CSN, made her way to UNLV in 2012, she never imagined what she'd become involved with on campus.
When I first got here, I thought I was just going to go to school, and then all these opportunities for being involved in on-campus activities came my way, and so here I am in student government. It steered my focus away from wanting to work in the psych-related fields and instead to work in politics.
Bivens also does a lot of work for the student veteran community on campus, including authoring the new policy brief for Senate Bill 457.
I'm actually a widow of a service-connected Marine Corps veteran, and so that was kind of my tie to the veteran population. And it was a professor that actually linked me up with Bruno Moya, who used to be the president of Rebel Vets. We kind of ended up collaborating. SB 457 was born out of that collaboration. My big thing really is that students can really make a difference on this campus, and it doesn't even require you to be in student government. I would encourage every student to find whatever it is that they're passionate about and find some sort of avenue, whether it's at UNLV or in the community, to really let that passion flourish and accomplish the things that they would really like to see changed.
Bivens expects to graduate in May. and plans on taking all of her student government experiences out into the Las Vegas community. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Ashley Renan.
On top of all of her activities, Bivens is a mother of 4 and has an 18-year-old daughter who also attends UNLV, isn't involved in student government. Here to expand on her fruitful career as a senator is the woman herself. Also with her is student veteran Bruno. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
So, I mean, can you kind of describe how did you two get collaborated? How did you two come together to go ahead?
So a while back, I took a class with Professor Oscar Sita and talked about, some veterans issues and started becoming very involved in the campus and the community about veterans issues related to just all sorts of things. But specifically, we try to focus on student veteran education. And Oscar and Samantha were, friends, and they took classes together, I believe. And from there, we kind of met through Professor Sita, and now here we are, so.
Yeah. And then can you kind of describe exactly what that Senate Bill 457 is and what it'll do for UNLV students, veterans in particular?
Essentially, right now, when veterans come in from outside places, whether it's another college or if it's straight from the military, they're not getting, it's really up to the individual colleges to decide if they're going to get college credit for their prior military education and training. And so what this bill will essentially do is it will collaborate a bunch of different entities, the NSHE system, the Commission on Post-Secondary Education, as well as some others, to basically create statewide standards for how these credits can be assessed so that veterans in specific degree programs where those credits are applicable, then they would be able to get credit for that.
And what stage of the bill is it in right now, and where do you see it going in the future?
It was just recently heard in the Senate Education Committee, and it got moved down to the Economic Committee, I believe, or the Budget Committee, because NSHE decided to tag on a $100,000 budget to that bill. That's something that we have to look at. They're claiming that it's going to take a full-time person or somebody that they can contract to be able to do all of this. So again, the committee is still being formed if this bill passes, and hopefully that $100,000 is something that NSHE is able, or the state is able to be able to fund. Now we bring in, we did the math, we did something like around over $115 million in funding for student veterans that are attending an NSHE institution, and our graduation rates are significantly higher, so it's a benefit, and it's pretty much something that is worth Nevada being able to tack on. Not a lot of other states are also are doing this, so it's definitely worth Nevada being in the forefront and leading from the front in in the union.
And I know there is actually something currently in place where veterans can receive some credit for like their basic training and whatnot. Is this just an expansion of that? Is it completely different?
That's a good question. So right now what happens is whenever a student veteran comes in, we submit our transcripts from the military. Those transcripts are then reviewed by a counselor, and the counselor then here at UNLV will look through the transcript, possibly work with ACE, or the American Council on Education, which is the gold standard for trying to figure out how to translate that training and everything. Some schools do it differently, some schools don't do it, so what we're trying to do is make it to where all the NSHE institutions have a method, have a metric, and are also able, that the veterans are also able to maximize on their training that they've accomplished in the military. Now, what we don't want to do is have student veterans come in and chop like 2-3 years off of their transcripts or for credits. We understand that education and going to school is very important, and it'll be a disservice if they chop off too much, and I think there is a cap too on that. So even if that was the case, it wouldn't really matter. What we want to do is target some programs or training that that apply to the programs that UNLV or other NC institutions offer, some such as STEM fields, medical degrees, and so on and so forth.
And Samantha, exactly how are you getting involved? Are you getting your daughter involved too? I mean, why did you choose something like this?
Well, in Senate, we work on many different projects within committee. My work with the veterans groups was basically my personal goal. It wasn't related to committee. And my daughter is in Senate, but she's not specifically involved in this particular project.
Okay. And then Bruno, exactly how are you kind of reacting to this? I mean, how are you going to benefit, and how do you hope to spread the word and get all the other veterans involved?
I just recently went to Washington, D.C., and I met with the VFW. They're building out in D.C., and I remember they have this statue where it has a guy holding a rifle, and it seems like he's going into battle, and then there's this other guy with his hand behind him, and he's wearing a suit, assuming that he's a veteran, and he has a bill in his hand. And that's kind of like what we're doing here. The way that I benefit is to ensure that the guys that are getting out are able to take education as a transitioning tool, to be able to come to school, chop off some of the education that they've already received or training that they've already received, and use that as a transitioning tool, because UNLV and other NC institutions like UNR, as much as I hate to say it, but they have really good student veteran organizations where students can come, or veterans can come, become part of the community, not just veterans, but dependents and other members, students, and they can really transition into something that's meaningful, something that gives them purpose, and something that's going to help them excel in their careers.
Well, I'm eager to see where this goes, and thank you for your service, and thank you for all your dedication as well, Samantha.
Thank you.
After the break, we travel to infinity and beyond with a local elementary school. We'll be right back.
As far as Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing. You get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
One elementary school teamed up with the Las Vegas Astronomical Society to put together a night of science for students. Nicole Soto has more.
It's Wednesday afternoon, and it's science night at Hayes Elementary School. After class, students stuck around to learn about the moon and stars. An inflatable planetarium was set up in the cafeteria. Students who went inside traveled light years to other planets and stars, and even back in time. Students also learned about gardening and were able to take home their very own plant. But what was the most popular attraction?
Looking in the telescopes. Looking into the telescopes. Looking through the telescope. Especially the telescope that had a mirror in it, because I saw everything upside down. You saw something like really, really close, and like one of them was backwards and then flipped. Because I could see what the airplane looked like, or the jet looked like when it was flying through the sky.
Yes, the telescopes. Students and even parents waited in line to view the sun through safe filters. Science, technology, engineering, and math programs, also known as STEM, are vital to Nevada's economy. The problem is getting students interested in STEM fields. Science night at Hayes Elementary, it isn't just for kids. One student says it best.
Kids need to learn, and because science is kind of part of our life, and you keep learning about it, and I think kids should learn it too, like other kids, because science is fun.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Nicole Soto.
Thanks for watching Studio G. Be sure to follow us on social media at UNLV Studio.
I'm Jamie Poole.
And I'm Jessica Vargas.
Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Studio G.